Olympian is being called a true champion tonight. Manteo Mitchell, a former track and field star at Western Carolina University, broke his leg during the men's 4x400 meter relay today. Now, despite the pain, he managed to finish his leg of the race, and the U.S. qualified for the finals. As the former Catamount was running the first leg of the 4x400 meter relay, he felt something pop. An X-ray would later show he broke his fibula. Sports critics say Mitchell's determination helped the U.S. finish the heat in record time.
What's up, family? It's your boy Tommy Bowie.
And I'm Treylani Waters.
And this is our first podcast.
Now, in today's podcast, we're going to be having a live interview with an Olympic medalist. His name is Manteo Mitchell.
And he's a U.S. world champ, Olympic silver medalist, and he ran at the 2012 London Olympics.
Now, shortly to the 2012 Olympic Games, he actually had a little bit of a scare in the prelims. So in this prelims race, he was the first leg of the 4x4 in 2012. And during that race, he actually broke his leg halfway through the 400 meter of that first leg.
Crazy.
Now imagine the pressure of being the first leg and knowing that you have to set the team off to a great start. You've probably felt that being a 400 runner yourself. You know, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and then 200 meters into the race, your leg breaks. You know, how do you react? How do you respond? What's your mentality to get through that? In our live interview today with Manteo Mitchell, we're going to talk about all of those things, specifically with him and how it relates not only to him and how he inspires others in his family,
But to the world.
but to the world.
Hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Let's get this money.
Let's get this money.
Doing good, bro. Doing good. We just setting up right now, getting the camera ready. I'm Treylani, man. Nice to meet you.
What's up, bro?
Heard a lot about you, man. You for sure a beast. Your story definitely unique.
Yeah, probably never happen again.
Right? Like, you just don't hear somebody break their leg and continue to run.
Oh yeah, don't try it at home though. Was it light enough in here? Y'all can see me. It's about to storm here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
I can see. Mic check, check.
Is that recording?
Yeah, it's recording. The camera's recording.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, good.
All right. Okay, perfect. It's recording now. All right, let's do this. So, Tommy Bowie and Treylani Waters, and today we're interviewing U.S. world champion, silver medalist, Manteo Mitchell. Let's get this money.
Let's get this money. I love it.
All right.
Yeah, so, I mean, just to start, man, like, just tell us about you. Like, who is Manteo Mitchell? Who is he? Tell us about, you know, like, just who you are.
I'm really I'm a happy guy. No, just kidding. I'm just a normal dude, man, with just been blessed with a talent and with many talents actually, to do some pretty amazing things both on and off the track. I'm a father. I have a son who's 6 years old. He'll be 7 in November.
Ooh,
So
congrats, man. Congrats.
that's like top priority, you know, for me. So I'm embracing the dad bod and all those different things. So as far as, you know, most people know me, they know Manteo as the runner, the guy who ran on a broken leg, all those different things. But what they don't see is the hard work and dedication that goes into not only being an athlete, but just being a better person each day. So that's kind of how I live out my life. I don't really, like, if you looked around my house or my office that I'm in right now, you wouldn't see anything on my wall but my degrees. And that's just how I live my life. I don't really care about accolades and stuff like that. I know a lot of people try to build the stuff after your name. It's like Manteo Mitchell, comma, and whatever else I can put back there. But I don't really care about that stuff. It's all about the platform and just being able to, you know, give back in a way that will inspire somebody else to be better than they were before they saw you or met you. So
Big picture, right?
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of a little bit about me. Obviously, there's more to me, but I kind of let my actions kind of reveal who I truly am, and hopefully I'm doing that the right way. You know how society is right now with social media and stuff like that. People view you the way they want to view you, but not the way you actually are.
I love that.
So hopefully,
Right.
you know, my message that I'm putting out there and the way that, you know, I'm testifying through my running and the way I live my life and the way my son is living and coming up, hopefully that tells a little bit more about myself, like, to the people actually. So
Heck yeah. I mean, wow. Just to start out, that was amazing, man. You know, it's great that you clearly are like an inspiration for people, and you know, you're providing not only a platform as an athlete, but just as a person. And that just allows for people just to connect and be able to, you know, take that inspiration from your story.
What inspired you to run, bro?
Wow, what inspired me to run? So it's when I go and speak and stuff like that, it's in like the little bio or whatever when they read it. But I actually didn't start running track. Let's see. I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't run in middle school. I think I ran in 7th grade. is when I was first like introduced to the sport, and it was just because everybody that played football ran track. So
Same. That was exactly
like,
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, why am I running on an asphalt track with spikes? Like, it doesn't make sense. And because we didn't have any rubber tracks where we were at, and so I stopped running track and then moved on. And I actually ran hurdles. I ran hurdles in middle school. I think I ran like 14.9 or no 14.19 over 110 hurdles in middle school.
That's
so
not even that's not even that. Yeah, you was already there.
I knew I had a little speed then. But then I just moved on back onto football and played football all the way throughout high school. I got hurt my senior year, and I promise this is all gonna make sense in a minute. I got hurt my senior year, the second game of the season, I believe. Yeah, kind of lost the passion for football after playing it for 10, 15 years. Since you were like 5 years old all the way to you're like 18, 13 years. And then you sit out for 6 weeks and you're like, I don't even know if I'm going to come back or not. We eventually came back, but my wide receiver coach just so happened to be an Olympic trials finalist and was a great athlete in his own right back in the day, so in the 80s and 90s. He came to me and said, hey, you should just run track. And I was like, look, man, I've been through this before. That's punishment for every other sport I've been involved in, so why would I go do that for fun? And then the rest is history, man. I went out there and I was like, as long as I don't have to run the 400 or the 800, because I know that's a lap and 2 laps, then I'll be straight. And he enlisted me in the 400. I went out there and I won it very easily. And then, the rest, it started becoming like a passion, like fun, like I can do this. Not
taking
even
shape
about winning,
finally.
but just like with my teammates, like winning state championships and just going and just dominating everybody. I know that sounds really bad, but I think that's where the passion like kicked in, and that's where the inspiration, flourished. Just having my teammates and just trying to do what I can individually as a part of a team to make the team effort, 100%. So I think that was pretty much where my passion came from. And then I remember in 2008 watching the Beijing Olympics. I was a junior in college, and I watched the Beijing Olympics, and I was like, dang, man, that's dope. Like, that's the highest that you can go. I wonder if in 4 years I can be right there. And so that's when we created the plan, and obviously, it happened. So.
Yep, feel that. Man, I totally relate to that. I'm pretty sure you can relate to that as well, watching the hot, just watching any competition level where you picture yourself there, and then you just kind of, you obviously put the steps into motion because you eventually, 2012 came 4 years later, and here you are, first leg of the 4x4. So, I mean, now let's get into that, man. Like, that's a whole nother story for itself. Like, walk us through just, before you even got to the race, walk us through, like, preparation and, like, being able to, have the opportunity.
Yeah, so a lot of people that, even in the track community, if they're not hardcore track fans, they don't really realize, and you guys can relate to this, they don't really know how much really goes into, even if it's a conference championship or just a normal race, they don't know how much it goes into preparing for that one moment, that one instance, that one moment in your life, that defining moment. A lot of people don't realize like the hard work and dedication that goes into that. So that's why I like to show a little bit of my training and stuff like that. But obviously it wasn't an overnight success. I know I was dealing with some stuff mentally in 2011, and I sat down with my coach, and he was like, look, if you really apply yourself and really, give your all to this sport for once in your life, because I had so much going on, he was like, but if you really dedicate yourself to this sport, like, there's no one that can amass what you can do. I've seen what you can do, and I know the hard work and dedication and the hours of sweat, blood, tears you put into this, but if you really apply yourself and believe in yourself, first and foremost, you will make a team. And so I was like, all right, cool. So we started training.
Put your head down and just go at that point.
Yeah. So, and I want to say, like, to anyone who's watching this or listening to this, like, if you're out there, no matter if you're in track or if you want to go to law school, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, make sure you apply yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't expect, I'm trying to be cool with this and not really step on toes, but you can't expect someone to believe in you if you don't believe in you. It starts there. So you have to start your own fire sometimes. If you're out in the wilderness and you need some heat, you're going to have to start a fire somehow. And there may not be anybody around to help you with starting that, that little spark. But sometimes that little bitty spark is all you need to get the flame going.
Yeah.
So, like, just always trust in your passion, trust in your craft, and believe in your craft. That way, you don't have anything to fall back on and have an excuse for. If you gave your all and it didn't work out, it just didn't work out. It wasn't any plans for you. But if you go out there and you half it, and you don't give a whole effort, and you don't leave it all on the track, as they say, and the results come and you're not okay with the results, that's your fault. But yeah, a lot of preparation goes into, obviously, building a race plan and all that stuff. But, I just trusted in my coach and my team. I made sure my team around me, like, they supported me and I supported them. It was like a team effort. And we just made it happen, man. There's no secrets to this, man. Like, there are people who are taking shortcuts, like doing drugs and stuff like that. And I hate to see that because it's still a direct reflection of me as an athlete in the same sport when some of the people that you've run against or that you continue to run against are drugged or taking the shortcuts. But I go to Smile Mount, man. If I never break 44 seconds, I'll be completely fine because, number one, I can eat it clean. Number two, I had a platform that I used, and it was because of this that it made me this, blah, 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 blah. So I can care less. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
You've done what you need to do. You put your work in.
Oh, yeah, I can hang up my spikes right now and be completely
happy. And that's what matters, man. That's what matters. It's the shortcuts. It's not putting in the work.
Yeah, the shortcuts, man. The shortcut and the detour are totally different. Now, sometimes there's going to be hurdles, and you have to take either this way or that way. And maybe this way looks a little bit better than that way, but this way is a little bit longer. I'm gonna take the longer way because this is the better route for me.
Yeah.
So, there's different ways to, like, if I want to come to LA, there's a million different ways I can get there. But as long as I get there, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? So, like, on your journey, if you're listening, you need to be listening because this is important. If you're out there and you're on your journey, man, just, everybody has a different route that they're gonna take. Everybody has a different road. Now, we're all on the road to success. We all on the road to riches and whatever your end goal is, but just know that there's many ways to get there, and don't always, fail on the fact that, hey, they got there before me, because you're still gonna get there if you apply this. So that's just my little 2 cents on that part. You know what I'm saying?
I love that, man. That's exactly what you have a lot to present. You have a lot to explain for people. It's an inspiration that we get to share this with others, and they get to hear your perspective. And, the results that you've created just from, your mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me what you think.
What drives you? Like, what's your, like, in life, we got to have, like, a purpose and a why to push us when, times are tough, right? So, like, like, what's the fire that keeps you going? Like that pushes.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, your son.
My son,
man. I love that.
Like, and that, I'm like a fan. I'm his fan, so I take these to his little games. Let's go, Kai. So that's my, and of course, he hasn't always been here. He's only been here for 6 years, so of course it's changed over time what my fire and desire is. But now, first and foremost, it's him. Like, him looking up to me and, like, being the example and being his leader and stuff like that. Not that I'm like a president to him, nothing like that. But the dude looks up to me, and it's crazy because he really tries to imitate everything I do. So now I have to be careful with the things I say. Not that I'm going around saying bad things, but the things that I do, the things that I put out on social media, the things that I put out in just normal everyday life, that's my passion, because I didn't have that growing up. Now, I grew up with a father. I didn't have a father figure in the home. It was just my mom as a single mom with my brother. So I didn't have that father figure every single day. I didn't have somebody throw the football to me. I didn't have somebody throw a baseball with me. I didn't have somebody come to track practice with me. I didn't have any of that. So my son has that. So me being able to experience that with him, that's like my passion. So I know before he was around, it was definitely my grandfather. Like, it's not like a sad story, but like, I taught my grandfather how to read while I was running track and field and playing football in high school. Being able to do that and just see him work so hard with his job and stuff like that, and then some things happen with their job, and like, everybody in my family worked there, and they didn't get their 401k, and they didn't get all these things, like, stuff like that made me grind even harder to, like, help them to be what they wanted to be and to help them get the things that they needed. So
I love that, man. The picture's just so much bigger than just,
it's not about me at all. I know some people will probably look at me and think that it's about me, but I can care less about me. It's less of me and more of him. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like that. Like, God blessed me with this, whatever you want to call it, this talent, I don't know. I don't even know what to call it, because it's more than running for me.
I think it's purpose, man. I think your why is so big, and that's why you have so much drive.
Exactly. You're right on point. Yeah. So it's so much more than putting 2 feet down in a lane and getting to the finish line as fast as I can. It's like, what can I do in these 44 seconds that's going to last longer than 44 seconds? That's how I look at it.
Man, I love that.
What does faith focused finish mean to you?
Oh, man. Yeah. Faith focused finish came about, remember I told you about sitting down with my coach back in November of 2011 at a time where I didn't even want to run track anymore. Like, I literally stopped training and everything. It's crazy because I still made it happen. But anyways, I didn't want to run track anymore. I didn't even want to be on this earth anymore, if you catch my drift. So I had a lot of stuff going on, personal things, things that were very, very private. I just couldn't deal with, and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I tried to take the best option, which was to get up out of here. Obviously, I'm still here, so that didn't quite work out the way that people probably thought it was going to work out. But Faith Focused Finish came about that same night. I called one of my mentors, and he was like, look, I want you to just go in your Bible and try to find a scripture. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something random. I'm just going to take the Bible, and I'm just going to do like this, flip it open, and whatever it goes to, I'm going to close my eyes, go to a scripture, and that's what it's going to be. It went to 2 Timothy 4, verse 7. For I fought the good fight, I finished the race, I kept the faith. So I took that, jumbled it up, and said, faith is, for me, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God, but like I said earlier, even if you have faith in yourself, that's where it starts at. If I have that faith, I'm able to do the second word, which is focus. Focus on the primary task at hand. So not, if I want to be a 44-second runner, I got to take a plan 44 seconds and go back and figure out how I'm going to get to 44 seconds. So I'm focusing on a primary task at hand, and in doing so, having that faith and having the focus, I'm able to finish third word anything that I start. So that's how that came about.
I love that, man.
I love that.
Wow. You know, and then
it's been embedded. Like, I got it tattooed on my arm, so it's the last. I don't know if y'all can see that.
I see that. Yeah,
Faith Focused Finish. It's you know, tattoos are usually like people can see them, they can read them from your angle. I have it reversed so I can see it. It's the last thing I look at when I get in the block. So yeah.
Awesome. I love that, bro. You know,
it's stuck with me for life, man. And it's cool because like people hashtag it all the time. And I may not have been the creator of it, but I think I was the influencer of it. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see it, you know, and people will tag me in it and stuff like that. So it's kind of dope to like see it flourishing and people catching on to the vibe, man. So yeah.
I love that, bro. You know, it's those little things that, you know, or not even little. It's just those little, you know, like things that are to yourself that you can also like, that has a lot of your passion in it, and you know, has a lot of meaning that you can just take and, you know, look what you've done with it, how you've influenced others with it, and how much meaning it actually has, like just those 3 words.
Yep.
So in life, it's about the small things that we do that, you know, eventually helps us become successful. So what were some of your top leading factors that helped you become successful?
Oh, like the factors that made me like successful?
Yeah, like the small details, you know?
There's so many underlying factors that lead to like somebody being successful, you know? It can be a coach, it can be a mentor, it can be your own family, it can be a close friend. For me, I would say it's a combination of all of that stuff. There wasn't really an athlete that, you know, most people think like another athlete inspired them to be the athlete that they are or better. And I don't really think, besides Michael Johnson, I don't really think another athlete like inspired me in a way to be, you know, the athlete that I am today. Maybe a little bit of mixture of Michael Jordan as well, even though that's basketball. Just growing up in that era and seeing him play.
Watching him manifest that.
He was just passionate, yeah. The way he was just so passionate. It was beyond basketball for me because I was trash at basketball. I mean, I could jump and stuff, but that was about it. But I guess just the you could see the desire in his eyes and like the passion to want to win, and it was more than just for himself. It was for his team. I mean, winning 6 NBA championships is a lot, and when you're the best in the world, like I've been there. I've been one of the best in the world before, so I know how that feeling feels. And it's not something that, you know, you just push to the side. Like you got to have something that gets you to that point. But I would say more than anything, like a combination of all those things, but definitely my family. They're like my biggest supporters. Like I have fans that I have a very unique fan base, and I think I have some very passionate fans and some very believable fans. You know, some people got hashtag fake fans, all that stuff. Yeah. I don't believe in fake fans. Like if you hating on me, you got a reason to hate on me. Even
right?
If it's positive,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's still a fan. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people try to acknowledge their haters. Like, don't even worry about them. Like, if like you're not focused on the primary task at hand, if you're focusing on your haters, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that stuff's gonna come. That's called backlash. That's gonna come. No matter how successful you are, no matter how many good things you do, there's always gonna be that one or that million that just don't care for
people
you
always
at all
want to
because
hate.
they don't have what you have, or you have something they don't. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta keep grinding, man.
Yeah.
You got to keep grinding. And I caught that from you one time. Like, you posted something about that, and I was like, yeah, that's how you got to do it. You just got to keep grinding. Like, they're going to come at you. You just got to keep grinding, man. So, I respect that.
Yeah, man.
If you have haters, that means that you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Noise is noise.
So, what were like some trials and tribulations that you went through?
I know you talked a little bit about
Yeah.
it. In like 2011, you kind of went through some
Yeah.
things. You know, like just what were some other things that you could like just touch on a little bit that were some hurdles that you had to get through?
So like trials and tribulations, even to today, I mean, I still have them. My hardest part about all of this is like I'm a homebody. I'm a super homebody. Like I love my family. My family's an hour away. My immediate family. So my mom's an hour away. Obviously, my son's here with me. My grandparents, all that. They're like an hour away. So even being an hour away, I don't get to see them as much as people probably think. I'm traveling all the time speaking, obviously training 4 to 6 hours every day, and then traveling all over doing all different kinds of things for like the sport. So you don't get to, I can only speak for myself. I know a couple of friends that are in the same boat, but I miss out on a lot of family events, birthdays, holidays, all those different things, all for this sport. So those are my trials. Obviously, injuries come about every once in a while. Definitely 2012 was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
trying to come back from that. But that's a story within itself. That was just hell on earth, like for real. But I don't know, like just being away from my family and not really having ideal relationships up until now. I think those are the trials that really hurt me the most. Not being able to experience everything with them. You can't just fly your whole family over to Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just, you know what I'm saying? So, but the cool thing about it is it has a positive side to it too. I got to meet like some of the craziest, coolest people in the world, like, and have dinner and sit down with these people, like President Obama or former President Obama, Justin Bieber, Usher, like if you name them, I've probably met them and stuff like that. But just to be able to have people say, "Oh man, it's so cool, such and such," and I'm like, well, I don't really know them, but I know of them. We hung out and stuff like that. That takes the trials and makes it a little bit better. So, but yeah, I mean, and that's just everyday life. You're gonna go through things. You're gonna have trials. You're gonna have tribulations. I mean, nothing's perfect. Nothing in this world is perfect, and nothing is really given to you. Even you may get something, buy one get one free, but you still gotta buy something first, right? To get that
exactly.
free thing. So nothing in this life is free.
Down.
Nothing.
Gotta work for it.
The only thing promised in this life is death. That's the only thing that's promised. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So you just got to live your life out the best way that you can while you can. Do what you can with what you have while you can. That's how I kind of like
that dash mark.
So, yeah. So those trials and tribulations, man, it's all part of your story. So
I mean, so you kind of touched on it. If you can, man, take us through, that 2012 moment when, obviously you're in the middle of the race and then you somehow still finish the race. Take us through that, but before and then, like, because I know, like I read that you felt, a little thing like 100 meters in, and then 200 meters is where you really felt that actual like instant moment.
Yeah.
So there's still 200 to go. Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Running 46.
Really not human, bro.
You're
45.
45, like.
Yeah, I went 45.7. I really don't think I'm human, and I don't say that to boast and brag. I never do that, but I don't think I'm textbook human. Like that. There's just this mental capacity that I have that I hate losing more than I love winning. And
The beast mindset.
Here's a few factors for that. Number one, this is Team USA. Team USA, up to that point, well, actually to the final, had never lost a 4x4 ever in games, ever.
Dang.
The only time there's an asterisk is when the 1980 Olympics in Moscow, where they didn't go, they boycotted.
Yep,
so that's the
I
only
know
one
that.
we didn't win. So number one, I was not about to be a part of bad history. Number two, I was the first runner, so there were 3 guys waiting for me to get back there. I knew that no matter how fast or how slow I went, as long as I got that baton back to Josh, and Josh got it to Tony, and Tony got it to Bryson, I knew that they were going to do their job to make up my bull crap. Even though they didn't know what was going on, they probably just thought I ran slow, and they did. We laughed about it.
Dang.
They thought I just ran slow because I was expected to go out there and run 43 high, 44 low on the pop-off. Like that, I was ready to do that, like literally ready to do that. And number 3, like my mom and my aunt were in the stands, so I wasn't going to have them in London to see me just fall. So I knew I just had to channel my faith focus finish and just get back to that line. So, like, it doesn't even look like I broke my leg. If you look at slow-mo, you can kind of see me, like, hobbling a little bit, coming down the straightaway. But I was just like, man, I just got to get to the line. So that's all I care about. But, yeah, that was definitely a defining moment in my career. But, see, what happened was 3 days before that, I tripped up a set of stairs in our apartment.
Yeah, I kind of read a little bit about
Village,
that.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know that part. So I tripped going up these steps, and I pierced my leg, like, right into that spot that ended up breaking.
Yeah.
But we had an X-ray that night. I trained on it that day. I was off the next day and had pre-meet. And then that morning, it just gave up, I guess. It just snapped. So it was bittersweet because obviously there was a lot of backlash at first because no one knew what was going on. Even the commentators were like, oh, Mitchell's out to a slow start, blah, blah, blah. And the reason they had to play catch-up is because Manteo ran so slow, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But then when it was revealed that I ran 45.7 and half of that race was on a broken leg, people were like, huh? So,
insane.
yeah, and even I knew something wasn't right, and I thought it was just my ankle at first. I had no idea it was actually my leg
Dang.
until they rolled me, in the hospital. After an hour after the race, I got to the hospital because I actually stood there. If you go look at the footage, I stood there and watched them run. I literally watched everybody run because that was our moment. I wasn't going to take that away.
Yeah.
It wasn't about me.
And you're probably feeling the pain, I'm assuming.
I went through the media tunnel climbing steps, and I remember Lewis Johnson, commentator for NBC, was like, Manny, are you okay? I was like, well, something's wrong with my leg. I don't know what it is, but it's something not right.
Yeah.
And then that's when they got me finally to the hospital, and they wheeled me over, and the doctor was like, you may want to see this. And I was like, what is it, man? Because, this adrenaline is wearing off. I'm hurting. And it was X-ray, and it was, bone, space, and then more bone. And I was like, oh, my God. And, I almost passed out. So, yeah. But then later on that night, there was, press everywhere. Folks from every country, standing outside the door just waiting for me to come out. It was crazy. It was just incredible.
Story changed, for sure.
Just to know that, that it's just crazy because the Olympic motto for that year was to inspire a generation.
Man.
So, yeah.
Faith, focus, finish.
Yup.
You for sure finished.
Sure, man.
Yeah, and look at the generation of athletes we have now. It's guys like you that have helped this next generation of athletes just not only physically but mentally be stronger, in their prospective sport and then in life as well.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely sport. It's a lot more mental than physical. Anybody can train. Anybody can go out there and train to their best ability, but if you don't have it here, it's really what's between here is what determines a champion or not. We can go out and run repeat 200s all day long, and you may beat me in some, I may beat you in some, but the person that gets to the race and has this ready is who's going to win the race.
Yep.
That's really, what it's all about. So
it is, man. It is.
What are some of your goals for 2020?
Some of my goals for 2020 include, I finally announced about a month ago that I was going to get back on the track and actually go for it. So that's goal number one. I'm thinking about doing indoor, so I may try to do the world indoor team. If not, then we'll just train through and try to make this Olympic team. And it's not even about making an individual. I know I'm kind of at the end, so to speak, of my career. So if I made the individual 400 or 200, that'd be great. But if not, I'm always good with the relay because that's my favorite event anyway. And now we have more opportunities because there's a mixed relay being included as well. So
heck yeah.
It would be nice to do that at the Olympic Games for the first time and actually break another record. That'd be great.
Be part
because
of
in that
history.
race, I don't know if people know, but in that race in London, we ran the fastest time ever in an Olympic prelim. That's an Olympic record for the preliminary race with my 45.7 split with a broken leg. That's crazy. So we would have challenged the world record for sure.
Is that still holding to this? Is that still holding?
Yeah, it's still the same.
Oh my gosh. Man.
Yeah, so hopefully we can go back and, handle things correctly this time. Get that gold. We got to get that gold back. They got it in Rio, I think. Yeah, they got it in Rio, so.
Yeah.
Got to keep the momentum going, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for supporting the journey, bro. I really appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah. No problem, man. Always, man.
Yeah, I'm on his team as well, man. My name's Treylani. I know we haven't really spoke as much, but,
sure.
he's kept me in contact with your story, and, I've definitely done a lot of research on my own, and, it's those things for me, just that small detail of, 3 days before your race, you kind of had a stroke of luck, or not even a stroke of luck, but, it was just you had that feeling before it even happened. And what you just dealing with the circumstance and still, coming out prelim record holder. And to this day, you're still training to go for another team.
Yeah. And even if I don't make it, I'll be completely happy because I've already achieved way more than I thought I would ever achieve in this sport, especially coming out of a small D1 AA school with 6,000 students when I was there. Now they're over 11,000 or something.
It's North Carolina, right?
Yeah,
Western
Carolina
in
Cullowhee, North Carolina. Super small school, amazing school. my coach, I credit a lot of that to my coach, and he's still my coach today, Danny Williamson. So he instilled in me this quality, like we're going quality over quantity. So give your all, like leave it all out there all the time. So I kind of flared away from that. I had some coaching changes, and I kind of flared away from that mentality and had some bad years, strings of injuries and bad years, and now we're back at it. It's like we just started. So
heck yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah, man.
I love that, bro.
Well, Manteo, it was really nice talking to you, bro. I hope you have a great rest
man.
of the day. Thank you so much for being my first athlete, for me to
Hey,
interview. I'm really excited, man.
Last, man.
Yeah,
if you're not first, you're last. Nah, I'm excited to help you guys out, man. I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
I think it's needed to acknowledge the stories and the success and even the failures. Like let people see all parameters.
Give the full picture for every individual.
Yeah.
Like your story is gonna inspire others, and those people will then be able to inspire others, and it'll just continue to just like turn over in such a positive way that helps everybody.
Yep. That's the plan, man.
I love that.
That's the plan. But yeah, if you guys need me, man, reach out. You got my contact. Reach out, man. I'm always glad to help.
Thank you, bro. Well,
yeah, for sure.
Hope you have a great rest of the day.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. Later, bro.
Tell that library they need to stay open longer, man.
Man, no, we got here and they were closed.
Yeah, I was planning on doing the podcast in a room, But it's crazy. It's crazy how God provided me this table. I wasn't expecting
there were tables and chairs already here, ready set up for us.
Yeah, so God wanted this to happen,
right behind you it says library hours. That's the funniest part about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all worked out, man. No worries.
Yeah,
of course, man. It always does.
All right, later, bro.
All right, later.
What's up, family? Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, episode 1 with Manteo Mitchell. To find out who we're going to interview next, stay tuned for the next podcast. And remember, guys, live up to inspire and spread positivity. I love all y'all.